Welcome into the Oklahoman's Video Studio. Dave Morris alongside my friend Tamara Pratt. Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a few weeks, been a few years since since we touched base. Great to see you again.
Nice to see you. Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time. She is with Rose State, and they have a Flag Day event coming up next week. Flag Day, of course, June 14th. It's on Wednesday,
Yes,
so
sir.
we're going to talk about that event. But before we get into that, I should mention that you and I used to work together. The Oklahoman and News 9, the local CBS affiliate here in Oklahoma City, had a partnership back in the day.
It was just like yesterday.
Yes, and we used to work together, so it was always fun and challenging and all that sort of things that the news process is. What are you doing now?
I am working at Rose State College. I've been there for 2 years. I currently serve as their Vice President of External Affairs and Marketing. Great opportunity to be out in Midwest City. It's a great growing town. It has so much excitement going on, and the school is absolutely fantastic. It's got this, we're a community college, of course, a 2-year school, but what you're able to see and the students that you're able to help, and just, it's a great place to be, a great time to be there, great city to be in.
Why'd you shift over to the education side of things?
You know, that was almost accidental. I had done nonprofit before. I worked for the Memorial Institute for the Prevention of Terrorism for about 7 years, which was a nonprofit that trained law enforcement in terrorism warnings and indicators. So that seemed like a natural fit coming out of news because I had covered some terrorist acts, so therefore it seemed a natural fit and interested me.
I was about to say probably an interest as well.
It was an interest, a passion actually, very much a passion. And then I went over to the Red Cross, which was another natural fit. And then I got a call from Dr. Jeannie Webb, who's the president of Rose State, and she said, I'd love to have you come work with me.
Now, was this a new position, a new office, or is this, hey, here's the position, make it, you know, make what?
Position, make it.
Okay, yeah.
Position, make it. And it's a great opportunity. She is an amazing, amazing leader who grass does not grow beneath her. She moves very quickly. So it's almost like being back in the newsroom in some ways. I mean, there's always a constant deadline. There's always something new that you're doing. Very exciting. Education, it's a good place to be, even though it's tough. It's a good place to be.
You mentioned Midwest City, a growing city, 75 years, right?
75 years this year. They're celebrating their 75th along with Tinker Air Force Base. And of course, you can't say Midwest City without saying Tinker Air Force Base. They go hand in hand back from the days when Mr. Atkinson developed it and had this idea that they knew there was going to be a depot somewhere in the middle of the country, and he said, I'm going to buy this land and we're going to do Tinker Air Force Base, and so there it is.
Good for us.
Huge generator for the state, yes.
A lot of Tinker people at Rose State, continuing education type thing?
Absolutely, and a lot of, we're seeing a mix. It's, you know, you have the Tinker Airmen, you have the civilian side of Tinker. We offer some classes at the base as well, but you see a lot of non-traditional and traditional students. I mean, kids coming right out of high school, making Rose State their college of first choice. And it's a great fit. It's a lower expense, and I say that carefully because, I mean, it's a great value. You get the exact same quality at Rose State that you do your first 2 years as you would at any other flagship school. And I know I need to be careful when I say that because I don't want to make anyone angry when I say that. But I mean, it's true. And we've got the smaller community, 20-to-1 student to faculty ratio, professor ratio. So it's a little bit more personal, a little more private, gives some students just what they need to take it to that next level. It's
a nice campus. You see a lot of events coming in, and the one we're mentioning right now, the celebrates Flag Day coming up, as you can see behind me at the Hudeberg Theater, which is a very nice theater.
It's one of the best in the city, yes, absolutely.
So it pulls in a lot of concerts as well.
A lot of concerts and a lot of dance recitals. We're kind of on that circuit, which is a great thing as well. But we have the Russian ballet that came through. You know, we've got a lot of great concerts. We actually had Miley Cyrus there last year, which I probably should be careful, but that was last year. She was practicing in advance for her big tour. So I mean, yeah, we get a lot of names that people don't know about that are kind of sneaking in on the backside to use our facility.
Tamara Pratt just dropping secrets of Rose State.
It was a year old. It's a year old. It doesn't matter anymore.
She's not there right now.
Yeah, right. She's not there.
Don't storm the campus. You can find more information about Rose State College, their website, which is a fantastic URL as well, rose.edu.
You got it. Thank you.
Super nice and compact there. June 14th, the Rose State Hudeberg Theater, you will have 2 screenings of this movie, and the trailer will play in here in just a second. Is so compelling. It's part of what you guys are doing to honor our heroes, I believe is what you're calling it.
We do. We're calling it Rose State College Honoring Our Heroes. And the whole idea behind it is, I mean, the military, Tinker Air Force Base, our World War veterans, I mean, it all goes hand in hand with where Rose State came from, where the city came from. And when we were approached with this opportunity to show special showing of these films, free to the community, we jumped on it because it's what made our city. It's what made Rose State College. And so this short film, it's only 39 minutes, but it is very powerful. In fact, when I first viewed it, I thought, okay, it's about our veterans going to see their memorial in Washington, D.C. Within the first 5 minutes, I was in tears and I didn't stop crying throughout it. It is incredibly emotional.
That is the synopsis, but it's so
much
compelling.
more. It's so much more than that. I mean, when you see these people, I mean, for some of them, they don't want to live this. They don't want to remember this. That was decades ago, and there's a reason that it's kept in their past. But this film actually highlights 3 Oklahoma veterans, World War II veterans, who took the trip, and it shows every step of it. I mean, from the minute they get on the plane, they get this little debrief, and then they leave early in the morning. They fly out, get out to Will Rogers. They take a charter plane to Baltimore, WWII. They get off, and the reception that they get when they get there. I mean, you've got people, and I've been at BWI when these folks have come in and been completely unrelated to their event, and just, you know, there being cheers and claps and these flanked of people thanking them and other servicemen. I mean, they start welling up with tears. It is incredibly moving. You just get goosebumps as you watch it and as you think about it. Then they go to their memorial, World War II Memorial in DC, which obviously many of them have never seen. They go to Arlington National Cemetery, and the looks on their faces as they're remembering, I mean, you can just instantly see that they're flashing back to their time.
The clip we're about to play is from the film called Journey to Honor, and we'll play that here in just a second. It's directed and written by Derek Watson, produced by Amanda Hyde, and it'll be played here at the Hudaburg Theater. And Greg Singleton, who also used to work with us at News 9, is back in the booth, and he'll play the clip now.
When I got 18, I went down and signed up. Just something inside of me that told me I wanted to do that.
During basic, they told you wasn't coming back. You just do the best you can, but don't figure on coming back.
I was in the front lines, and that's when I got hurt. I don't like to talk about it too much now.
It was a question that inevitably will be asked 50 years from now or 75 years from now. What did Oklahoma do for its World War II community before it was too late?
The first airport we unloaded into, I could hear the cheers and such before I got off the plane. They all said thank you and we love you and everything else. You don't forget that.
It just made me so proud to see somebody come up and just kneel down beside Dad and say, thank you for what you've done.
I was appreciated. I think that's the thing I noticed first, and I'm really glad I made this last trip.
It is possible for this country to come together for a common cause to ensure the future of all of us.
If we ever stop appreciating freedom, the comfortable lives that we lead, if we ever stop remembering the sacrifices that were made, it's over.
So again, that's Journey to Honor. You can watch 2 screenings of that, June 14th at the Hudaburg Theater on the Rose State campus at 3 p.m. and at 7 p.m. Tamara, the honor flights no longer exist, and that's kind of the point of this story is it really did such a service and was so moving to these gentlemen and ladies.
And what was interesting about it was Oklahoma honor flights didn't exist before 2010. We actually had some World War II veterans from Oklahoma who went through other hubs. It was the Dallas Honor Flight Hub, and they came back and told their story, and that's kind of how the idea birthed of, hey, we need an Oklahoma honor flight. So in 2010 is the first flight that we actually took, and we've done 24. They had done 24. They did their last one last fall. Over 2,000 World War II and some Korean veterans as well went on the trips. So it's been a labor of love. I can tell you that the committee that put that together, Representative Gary Bands, Steve Coleman, Representative Bands' wife Linda, they've done an amazing job in the meticulous details they put together to make sure this was an incredible experience for every one of those people who went on those flights was really amazing. And we're hoping that we can do it justice by showing this film. We've invited all veterans and the community, free to the community, so that's really, we want to make sure people understand there's no charge for you to come to this event. We just want you to come and be a part. But the kicker is we do have an expectation, the challenge. We want every one of those people who comes and leaves the Hudaburg Center after watching our film and experiencing our little event to go out and thank a veteran. And not just on Flag Day, but to do it every day of the week, every day of the year. Because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to have the freedoms that we have today.
Those ladies and gentlemen certainly deserve it.
Absolutely.
Our colleague, Chris Castile, who used to work with us for decades, he was in the office of our bureau in Washington, D.C. That was one of his favorite events to cover, when they would come out to D.C. just to talk with those gentlemen or just to observe their reactions, their emotions when they went through the cemetery or the memorial. He said it was so moving.
One of the gentlemen, and we've been making phone calls to try and get people back and just alert them. We've gotten numerous calls in our office that say, you know, I took my dad on that trip, on one of the first trips, and this was a gentleman who called yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he said, after we went on that trip and as we were coming back, my dad looked at me and he says, son, this has been the best day of my life.
Wow.
I mean, and you know, hearing the son relay this story about his dad and what that must have meant to both of them, I mean, so it's a very emotional place for people to be. And the short film is done amazingly well. It's great storytelling, and it actually takes you through not only their experience, but when they get home. And I don't want to be a spoiler of the show, but I mean, families starting to actually talk about that experience. And some of these folks are in their 90s. I mean, for the first time in years, they're actually going back and looking at that memorabilia and what it means not only to them, but to their families to hear those stories.
Some touching stuff. Again, the film is called Journey to Honor, and it'll be screened on Flag Day, June 14th at Rose State College at the Hudeberg Theater at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's a free event to everybody. We should also mention it's screening this weekend at the Dead Center Film Festival. Go there and see it on Saturday and Sunday as part of their Not So Short Okies films. Tamara, what else do we need to know about your event coming up on Flag Day?
That's all you need to know. Just come on out, bring your family, bring your friends, and enjoy it. We're going to give an honor, a salute to the branches of service with the medley that is played, of course, and we'll have a few other people who might be making a surprise appearance just in support of this, who are from around Oklahoma County as well. So we just want people to come out, take a few minutes, take a breather from the heat, and then take an opportunity to thank a veteran.
Well, thank you for the opportunity of this interview. Great to catch up again.
I know. I'll be back.
Now
that I know where you are.
That's right.
I know where to find him.
Sounds good. Again, more information on the website at rose.edu. Tamara, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.